Feedback is one of the most emotional things that can happen to a person.
From 2 decades of research and evidence, we know that people are wired for feedback.
We love feedback.
Feedback is the cornerstone of collaboration.
The workplace is an area where evaluation and feedback has grown dramatically. The number of evaluations has exploded. Yet, my research suggests people are pretty terrible at evaluating.
Oftentimes, team members don't even know what modes of feedback are available to them.
The commitment of mediaX, the faculty and students in mediaX, is to listen to what the companies are saying, and then to say, how can I find the core questions there that I can answer using research? As technologies become more human and more a part of our lives, feedback becomes an increasingly large part of what those interactions look like. So getting a deep understanding of how feedback operates becomes hugely important.
Currently, we're researching how globally distributed teams reach higher levels of engagement in work settings. The most surprising thing is just what remote team members don't know about one another. We characterize geographically distributed as any more than 30 meters apart. So it could be that you're on the second floor of a building and you need to communicate more effectively with team members on the 15th floor.
We define as the best potential degree of engagement when we can hear each other, we can see each other, and we can co-create.
So what we're working on is a set of mobile tools that actually allows you to either stay in sync with your teammates or be able to check in real time what their conditions are at any given time.
My research is about how people interact with interactive media. Technologies can use the full range of feedback that humans use currently. I did work on spell checking feedback. In the old days, when your document was spell checked, you would write the whole thing and then you'd run something that would go through and say, spelled wrong, spelled wrong, spelled wrong. We developed a system that was a kinder and gentler kind of spell checker that identified your errors, but every now and then would say, oh, questodactyl, you spelled that correctly, that's excellent. And then, whether it was true or not, your spelling is improving, you're doing better. Not only did people like that spell checker more, they actually thought it was more accurate and were willing to pay more for it. One of the funny things about the research I've done is what started out as taking rules from how humans behaved and having technologies behave that way has now morphed into helping humans understand from studies with technologies how they can be more effective social interactants and partners. We actually had an idea that maybe it's not just the end users, but the technology itself that should be engaged in its own design. And this really started as a joke, which research often does, where we were talking about, well, if you're designing a robot, the robot should have some say about what it looks like, what it thinks like. After all, it's got some intelligence of its own. Different cultures have different rules about how directly or indirectly you should express criticism and how directly or indirectly you should express praise.
Our research shows that Easterners tend to value more implicit feedback, and Westerners are known to seek more proactively on feedback.
mediaX helps both the company, the industry more generally, and then the fundamental understanding of how people interact with technology.